I'm a no good failure.
Okay.
As you are aware, I was ill this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
which is why today is a DBS episode. I don't know if my voice sounds funky, but I feel shitty a little bit still. But I'm all stuffed up and
Excuses so far, but okay.
boogery. But anyway, I had a deadline to hit one of my submissions yesterday, which was Sunday the 7th, and Saturday, the day I was really planning on finishing the story.
Was the worst.
I gave it my best effort. I honestly did try. I sat for hours throughout the day, and here's a paragraph, and then and then here's a paragraph, and I just couldn't fucking cobble it together. And I was like, all right, well, hopefully I feel better Sunday. But Sundays aren't my busy day.
Mm-hmm.
We go to the gym in the morning, and then I shop and do all my fucking household shit. So, and in the evening, I did some more writing, but my brain just wasn't there, and I managed to get, again, a couple more chunks, but just I couldn't finish it. Missed the deadline. Hate myself. But I'm still working on the story. I'll just have to submit it somewhere else.
I'm gonna say, how close are you to finishing it? That that at least you can have maybe like you were.
Well,
saying,
the word limit was 7,000, and I'm at like a little over 5,000, I think.
But now though, you can go a little bit more if you want to, because
maybe I still want to keep it around 7,000 because most of the anthologies and different magazines I've been looking at, that's their limit. So I'm just gonna try to keep it around there. But I feel so sad because I really wanted that one because it was a cool one. But the story got away from me a little bit too. Like I kind of lost the track.
Yeah.
So I'm not quite sure where it's going. Though I did come up with a cool name for the bad guy.
Okay.
So the bad guy, I haven't decided if he's like a demon or like the tall man from Phantasm, which is... That guy, I think, is like a mortician or, works at a funeral home, but he's like a scary, creepy old guy.
Right.
So it's kind of in vein of that. This guy is supposedly a caretaker of a cemetery, but he's real grotesque. He almost looks like a dead body, is how I describe him. And his suit he's wearing, I think I said something along the lines of like crematory ashes. That's the color. I was like that. But let me know if you like this name. Because I was trying to figure out it's kind of a sinister name, but biblical since it deals with like... Because for the anthology, it was supposed to deal with death.
Yes.
So there's a lot of like cemetery imagery and not necessarily religious imagery, but I figured a good biblical name would work. So I took 2 Bible names and put them together, but I had to pick ones that sound more evil.
Okay.
Abigor Cain.
Ooh.
Good one?
Yeah.
I like it. Because Abigor is one I never really heard before. Then obviously Cain from Abel and Cain. He killed Abel. So I was like, that's a good one. Abigor Cain. And he's an old grizzled fuck. I should probably Google that to see if that was like used already, because I feel like a lot of cool names are used already.
That if you don't use it for that, I would definitely keep that in your back pocket for something else.
I'm gonna finish this story because I am liking it. I just need to figure out where it's going, but hopefully I can finish that this week. Like I said, I still feel kind of shitty, and other than my voice, like it's all in my lungs now mainly, and my sinuses, and then it's the fatigue. We're going into 2024, balls to the wall. I'm not skipping gym day.
Yeah.
So I was sick, but what did I do on Sunday? I did leg day.
You did do leg day.
I went in there and it was bad. And then today we did fucking quadruple gauntlet for arms or chest and back. Just gauntlet day. So I didn't feel particularly great. Like I felt good when I started. Same with my leg workout. I had some energy and then I hit a wall. Today wasn't as bad, but after... Because I still had work to do and stuff. So I went on lunch.
That today was the real test because you went back to work.
It was bad. I was fucking... But I was like falling asleep on my drive. I just felt like crap. And I came home and I tried not to fall asleep, but I fell asleep for like an hour. And I was like, God damn it. Because I wanted to do some more writing before you came over, but I couldn't manage it. But I'm hoping by tomorrow I'll be back enough that I can get more into my routine.
Yeah, get back in the groove of things.
But to be fair, even though I was sick and tired and everything else, did not skip the gym and did not skip writing or reading even. Well, I did skip on Friday and Saturday, but those are my writing anyway.
Right.
Or, not writing, not reading. But those are the days where sometimes I let my reading slack a little because I'm, just stay up late and do stupid stuff or drink or in this case, just be sick and watch shitty movies. But I want to finish this story this week. And then I told you off air, I'm going to take a break from the Divine Comedy. I ordered a copy of The King in Yellow, which I think is Robert W. Chambers. That's one of those like Lovecraftian creatures. Like that was a character that gets developed by Lovecraft. And then after Lovecraft, it becomes like a, one of the mythos things. So I'm really interested because I watched some videos on that in the past, and I just really want to read that. But it's a short story collection, so I could just read a story and maybe still like read a canto and keep up. But I'm just like, God, I just need something entertaining.
Right.
Not that I'm not liking the Divine Comedy, but it's just, again, can you just read like, it's like watching documentaries all the time, and then you're like, maybe I'd like to watch some anime.
Yeah.
Just to break it up, It's like, I like the learning, but I need something that's not so academic. But you're almost done with that, aren't you? You only got the Paradiso.
Yes, well, yeah, I haven't even started the introduction. So whenever you were like, I'm gonna take a break.
You're jumping for joy?
Yeah, I was like, yeah. And then so I immediately I even started like the first couple pages of the Kurt Vonnegut's Piano Player.
Ooh, okay.
But I remember the first couple pages, and then that's when you text me that you going to the gym a little bit earlier than what you thought. So then when we were talking about the book, at the gym, and you were saying that, it wasn't that big of a book and stuff, I was like, well, when I went back home, I was looking at, because I got like a lot of like graphic novels and stuff for Christmas and stuff like that. So I'm like, I'm thinking I might just try to like take out a chunk of these, you know what I mean, while you, for the break and until we get back to the Divine Comedy.
Well, we'll see how it all goes. I don't know.
Very with kind of like what you're saying with the comics, you can like, I can read like a trade and then go and read a couple cantos for a couple days. You know what I mean? Kind of weave it in there back and forth.
Yeah, it's not so bad when you do it that way. Like that's why the short stories aren't, they're not too bad. But why do my levels keep dropping? Fuck. I hate this mixer. I hate the mixer. I'm gonna say it.
Yeah,
I hate the mixer. So yeah, that's a good idea. Just if I can slog through 5 months of reading the last couple chapters or books of the Divine Comedy.
But the last few days I've been able to get a few hundred words each day. So I'm getting kind of close to the first 1,000. Like I'm at like I think around like 600 or 700 words for that 10,000 word submission.
Oh yeah.
So I'm just hoping that, like, because I'm, it's like that beginning kind of opening,
Yeah.
So then I hope that when I kind of get into the sauce, that maybe it will, come a little bit quicker.
All right. Well, we'll talk more about quick comings.
Yeah.
We'll start the episode proper.
On OnlyFans.
On your OnlyFans, that's right. Stick around, folks. We have a mediocre episode for you today. Hello, you are listening to the Wrestling Weebs podcast where wrestling meets manga.
No,
that's not it.
That's not
what we're doing.
That's not this episode.
Welcome to Arcade Bookshop.
No, that's the other one. That's the other one you do.
Where we talk about video games and their literary counterparts.
No,
it's not what we're doing either.
No, haven't touched a joystick in a while.
Okay, what the fuck are we doing here? But two guys, one podcast? No. Maybe.
I mean, it could be, but that's not what it is.
Ooh, the greatest cake.
The greatest.
We're talking about bacon.
What things are made? What are cake and what are not cake?
Yes,
but no.
This laptop, is it cake? No, we're not doing that either.
No.
Oh shit.
You gonna say it's a microphone cake?
Business Insider Weekly.
No.
We're talking finances. Bitcoin. Should you buy now?
Never.
Oh shit. NFTs, you want them? We got them. Nope.
We do not have NFTs, and you should not buy them,
especially off of us. Oh man, you've heard of OnlyFans? Well, now we have Only Radiators. No, that's not it. We are the Drunken Pen Writing Podcast. I think that's the one we're doing today.
Yeah,
the longest running Drunken Pen Writing named podcast.
Yes,
of all time. I think we got the record now.
At least the last half decade.
Yeah. Oh, did I tell you we had a special guest that was supposed to come on today because I was sick? I told him not to. Some guy named Paul Rudd.
No, really?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess he's a big time listener, but you know what? Fuck you, Paul Rudd. You ain't coming. You ain't coming on. Nah. Don't want you.
No. Not big enough. He's a little guy.
He's a little guy. He's a little Ant-Man. Oh, I know who he is. I said it. I am your host, Caleb James. I didn't even think of a name for you as I was thinking of fake podcast names. What's name a city you would never want to go to in the whole world? I'm sure it's in Texas. Probably.
I was gonna say like Dallas, like
okay. Oh, Spencer, the Dallas Dingleberry Dinger Church. Oh, you're hitting dingers, but they're dingleberries. It's not very clever.
No.
You could have been the disaster. The diarrhea disaster would have been good. The Dallas diarrhea disaster. I don't know if that's a verb. You can make it a verb.
Yeah. You can make anything a verb.
What were we talking about in the cold open that was supposed to carry over into the episode proper? I don't know, but I have a better topic.
Okay.
Well, I have two better topics. But the first one, because I'm going to forget the other one anyway. Okay. But the first one, I've been wanting to bring this up to you, and I keep forgetting.
Okay.
So we always like to do tier lists when we're just talking about random shit. Yeah. You know, wrestling theme song tier lists. What I want to know where you would rate Seinfeld and It's Always Sunny.
Ooh.
On a tier list. You know what? Not tier list. Tournament list.
Tournament list? Okay. Oh, yeah. So, like, you versus and whoever gets
March Madness.
Well, I think you definitely have to have them at different ends of the bracket.
Well, let's say for whatever reason they're in the finals then.
Okay.
For whatever sitcom, which one do you give the nod to? Because I was watching some... I was bored when I was sick over the weekend, so I just went through and found a couple of my favorite Seinfeld episodes.
Yeah.
And when I was just going through the list, I was like, God damn, do they ever fucking miss?
Yeah, they have...
Did Seinfeld ever miss? And then I was thinking, well, did Sunny ever really miss? Yeah. I mean, both of them had a few, I don't even know if they're duds, but episodes you don't necessarily want to watch again, or at least not watch that many times. But straight up duds, I don't think so.
I mean, I think I would have to go with Sunny, just for the fact that, like, I think just because of like our age and where, like, you know, we've grown up with that one, and like I appreciate Seinfeld. I enjoy it, you know, for the most part. Though I do feel like sometimes, like, you know, because it's like on Comedy Central a lot now. Sometimes I'm like, okay, that's enough with like, what's the deal with like that's enough of that for a while. Like I have to like take some time off. But, like, I think I could watch a little bit of episodes of Always Sunny, like, every day and not...
be fine.
Yeah, because, like, I fucking see clips almost every day on my phone, you know, on Reels and shit, and it's just as funny as the first time I've seen it.
Yeah.
And it's still going. It's going on longer. Like, now, granted, I don't think you could have a Always Sunny without a Seinfeld.
No,
you know what I mean?
Not.
Like, I don't, you know... Well, that was one of the best, when I first started watching Always Sunny, one of my favorite things, like, of, like, a critic said about it was, like, Seinfeld on crack, or something like, you know, like, something like that. I was like, that's, like, the best description of that show, like.
Basically.
Just turned up.
Well, let's tone it down a notch, then. So, It's Always Sunny, clear winner.
Yeah.
Seinfeld, The Office. The American Office.
Yeah, The American Office.
I watched The American Office at a weird set of intervals on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
And then eventually just watched the seasons, and I was like, okay. And
yeah, I've still never watched like from episode 1 to the last episode. It's always like in runs, but like I've watched enough. I think I've pretty much seen them all, other than like the ones that they don't let on TV, you know?
Yeah. It's one of those shows where it's like, it wasn't always a hit like Seinfeld, but the highs I think were maybe higher sometimes. Like some of the big moments on there hit higher than Seinfeld's big moments.
Yeah.
Like they're just funnier, or they're just more memorable. Maybe it's just because they're more recent too, but I would still give it to Seinfeld, but I do enjoy The Office.
And then again, I think like, because like I wasn't there for like whenever like The Office was first hit, like, because again, I think because like we were in like high school, so it was just like, what's that? I don't get this. Why are they looking at the camera? That's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
like, you know what I mean. But then once you watch a couple episodes, and now being older,
a working man,
yeah, I've been working working, so it's just like I you get it a little bit more.
Well, I don't want to get stuck on it. That's why I'm not trying to dive in and like do this show and this show. Yeah. So we'll just do the cartoon wars real quick, and we'll be on something else. So Family Guy, South Park, and The Simpsons.
I would probably have to go South Park, Family Guy, Simpsons.
The first, 6 seasons of The Simpsons
is very good.
Hit something very special.
Yeah.
But then, put it this way. I haven't watched The Simpsons in I don't know how many years. And every once in a while, maybe an episode's on and I'll catch it. And I don't really laugh that much. Maybe a chuckle.
Yeah.
But it's not one of those things where like a random Family Guy episode comes on. I'll just be like,
yeah.
I'm just watching it. I don't know what season. I don't care. I don't know if it's one I've seen a million times or a new one. Same with South Park. Generally, and South Park's had a few, not necessarily duds, but they have had some preachy episodes where I'm just like, I don't want to see that again.
Yeah.
But most, like, their outrageousness, I mean, Randy was Lord, for God's sake. Like, they've just done things that was so great, so hilarious that I don't think you could top.
Well, and that the fact that, like, they go after everybody.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who or what. They will make fun of you. They will make fun of themselves, But, yeah, and again, I think it's that same thing with, like, Simpsons kind of gets a raw deal because without the Simpsons, there wouldn't have been
the other ones,
a Family Guy or a South Park or any of that.
No, I didn't include this one because I don't think you watch it. But I would actually put it above the Simpsons as well. It's Futurama.
Yeah,
because I think it's had way better storytelling.
I think it's definitely better written.
Yeah,
and like you said, the stories and stuff. Because, like, that's a weird one, like, that, and, like, King of the Hill, and there's a couple other ones where it's, like, I like them, but, like, I have to be in, like, a mood to watch them. Like, I just can't throw on, like, a random King of the Hill episode to, and watch it.
King of the Hill's a weird one because I wasn't a fan of it when I was growing up, but over the last few years, I catch all these clips of it. And the clips just for some reason hit me different. Maybe because I'm an older man now.
That's what it is.
They hit me so different. And then it's like, I like King of the Hill now. Why? But it's just because now you relate to Hank Hill.
Yeah, it makes more sense. You're like, propane.
When you're a kid, you're supposed to relate to Bobby, I guess. But I was like, I don't like Bobby. Here's some other quick mentions that are, just have a special place in my heart. So Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
I was a fan, but I wasn't like a big Beavis and Butthead guy. My brother, I think, liked it a little more than me. Mainly because I always got irritated with the videos.
Yeah, the movie was fun.
I love the movie. But it was the video breaks that always killed me on the show because I'd be like, oh, fun. Because I was more into the adventure they were going on, or misadventure, rather.
You guys need to do, I'm sure there's some fucking written Beavis and Butthead thing,
There's video games.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You play the first, that fucking on Sega.
Yeah.
That fucking one, like, could you, like,
that was really hard.
You can never get past, like, the second level, teamed up with some written Beavis and Butthead. I'm sure there has to be like a comic or something you can pair it with.
And for those who think Spencer's rambling, he's talking about Arcade Bookshop podcast where we play video games and then try to find a book or story that goes with the video games. I would do some Beavis and Butthead, and I'm sure we can find some outrageous teen humor comedy, something or other. That Beavis and Butthead game is so fucking hard. Any of those games.
That's why I want you guys to play it.
Terrible. I think it would be if we could ever work it like a live rage quit session where we just play one of these really fucking hard games and they're just freaking out. I think that's what people would want to see the most.
All right, so what was some of your other?
Just the typical, your Rens and Stimpies, Ren and Stimpy, Doug, the whole Nickelodeon lineup.
What do you feel about like that? Shows. The mid 2000 cartoons, like Cartoon Network, like. Like the Ed, Ed and Eddies and the...
That's when I started to peter... Well, I was also coming of age at the time, so I didn't watch really those. Because I watched Ed, and Eddie, at least in the beginning, so I like that. SpongeBob actually grew on me when I was older because of the stupidity, because it reminded me of Ren and Stimpy. But when I was a kid, my sister watched it. She was younger than me, and I just didn't really care that much. But when I got older, I appreciated the raw stupidity.
Well, and then also you catch some of the not kids jokes that are in them that you didn't know back then. Yeah,
I liked Dexter's Lab. That was my show. I thought Powerpuff Girls wasn't my show, but I do like how they beat the shit out of that. They on site, that Mojo Jojo guy, they just
whoop his fucking ass.
They literally beat him to the white meat of his brain like all the time. They just come up and just pow, and they didn't even have. They were just all fist. They didn't have fingers.
No, they were just
one big knuckle, man. Fuck. But that was around the time where I started getting into more of the Aqua Teen Hunger Force. C-Lab 20, was it 2020, whatever that was.
Samurai Jack.
Space Ghost. I actually never got into Samurai Jack, and it should be something I did. I think I always missed it. Maybe I was I don't know what I was doing at that time when it was on, but I always missed Samurai Jack. I watched some of the episodes. The Boondocks. I love the Boondocks. There's another. Oh, this I didn't watch when it was on there, which I kind of am mad at, but I watched as an adult I think this past year, actually. Samurai Champloo, because it's only 2 seasons.
Okay.
1 or 2 seasons. I think maybe, whatever it is, 1 or 2 seasons I watched it, and it's just like hip hop and ancient samurai times.
I've heard of it, but
It's
I
fucking
didn't
great show. Cowboy Bebop is one I never was able to get into, and then we talked about this before. As an adult, like over the last couple of years, I tried watching it, and then I kind of petered off, and then I finally went back and watched all of it, and I was like, "Oh wait, no, this is awesome."
Yeah,
but I don't know why. It took a minute to click, which is weird because there are some shows like that or movies where it's like I tried a couple times, but then you just have to be like King of the Hill. Maybe you're just not in the right point in your life to enjoy it. So anyway, Spencer, try to talk about like writing or books, something related to
we could hear literature, fine literature.
Fine literature. If you were to read a wrestler's memoir, which one would you start with? I think I'd go Mick Foley's.
Yeah,
apparently that's really good.
I've thought about that because he has a couple books and just like even like YA books and stuff. Just just to see what.
Yeah.
Because I hear that he's like a pretty good writer.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. I would if you could somehow have a complete truthful like Ric Flair with none no bias, no like actual
It's just like, why is there so many fucking woos in this? Okay, here here's the topic. Maybe this will be the ending topic. Like I said, I don't want to go too long. The last episode we did was only 40 minutes, and I loved that it was shorter. I was like, I breezed right through it. Celebrity novels you'd want to read. So novels written by, let's say, famous actors, actresses, things like that. So we've already discussed David Duchovny.
Yeah.
I think on the top of my billing is Anthony Bourdain, because I still have that Bone in the Throat, his first novel.
Right, yeah, we both have that.
Yeah, so I want to read that this year. And I do want to read some David Duchovny. I just can't figure out where to start, because I heard some of it's dog shit, but some is good, so I don't know.
Hey, I forget the one that you got me. It's like a baseball one.
I think it was the one that's not dog shit. Yeah. There's something with the cow that wasn't that good, I think.
So we talking about like celebrities that stuff that they wrote, or it's about the celebrities?
No, that they wrote.
Okay.
Like people that even if they're writers, they're not considered writer foremost. Like it's not their profession. James Franco has some novels and stuff out there I thought about looking at, but every time I read reviews, they're just pretentious awfulness. Yeah. But it's different because he is really into like the William Faulkners and the Fitzgerald. Like he's really into classic literature. So I was like, can he be that bad of a writer? I don't know. Because a lot of the times people like who judge stuff like that, if they're coming to, I like James Franco, Pineapple Express, and then they go into his novel and it's more literary fiction, they probably would just judge it off that and think, this is shit.
Right, yeah. So, that's just something they're not already a fan of.
Yeah, or he actually does suck at literary fiction and then it is shit. So, you got to roll that dice if you want to. I mean, he doesn't come off as a guy I think would be a great novelist, but I don't know.
I'm trying to think of some other like celebrities that are writers.
There's who is it? I saw it when I was at Barnes and Noble. You might have pointed it out actually. It was some celebrities' poetry collection.
Oh,
a lady, I believe.
Wasn't it like? Was it no, not a Kardashian, but it was like that kind of.
Who the fuck was it? Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts now.
It was somebody that was Megan Fox.
Megan Fox. Yeah. Would you read Megan Fox's poetry?
No, probably not.
Can't be good. I just can't imagine it. But maybe it's great. It's probably like that Rupi Kaur shit. I felt sick, and then when I sat on the toilet, it was my period. It's like, yuck. Red. Probably should just look up.
Maybe.
I don't know if I want to look up a list because then it's going to come up just all.
There's going to be a whole bunch of people like we don't know, like producers or like third leads.
Celebrities who have written.
Hasn't Colin Quinn written some books? Now, I assume that they would probably be more like history based, because he's like a pretty smart guy.
Maybe. So that's the thing. I never know. What'd you say? History based?
Yeah, because like he's always
you get more of that, I think, like than the fiction. But I think I got a fiction list.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think he would maybe, like, if you would have trouble with that, like, he might be able to do it in a way that would make it, like, more entertaining for you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I can throw some yucks in there, some jokes. Number 1. I don't know why this is numbered. Millie Bobby Brown has a book out.
Oh, yeah?
The British 19-year-old set the internet alight. She set it alight? She fucking she lit it on fire.
Oh, wow.
The cables under the ocean. Fucking lit them. She set the internet alight last week with her debut novel, 19 Steps. The book is inspired by a grandmother experiencing a crush on the London Underground during the Second World War, described as a sweeping and evocative tale of star-crossed love and tangled secrets in wartime. Ooh, that's tantalizing.
So she's writing about her grandmother getting down?
Her grandmother getting respectively boned. She was getting her britches pulled down and in the trenches. I don't know if it's
in her trousers.
The British love World War II. I don't. That's all they ever talk about. I mean, I know it was a big thing in their history, but goddamn, we were there. We didn't even fucking talk about it that much. I mean, our country wasn't blown up at all, but
we were the ones doing the blowing up.
The novel has nevertheless received criticism online for being ghostwritten. So it's ghost, but she's open about it. Like, she even has a picture with the ghostwriter.
Oh, okay.
So that's one of those. Hold on, I want to talk about that title. Let me finish this though. The book's author Kathleen McGurl has leapt to the Stranger Things star's defense in The Guardian, pointing out that it doesn't diminish her involvement. Okay, so that does bring up an interesting topic, because I often thought about, where does that put you as an author if you're open about it? Mm-hmm. Not like a James Patterson where you have somebody write your ideas, but like you're open about it. It's like, hey, I'm the idea man, or maybe I'm not like necessarily a solid writer, or at least this genre writer. So I hired, someone to write, or I'm working with a writer, and what we're doing is we're taking my ideas and they're crafting a story. Or even I had the whole story. It's just I need them to do it in a way that doesn't sound dumb.
Like, maybe I don't have the time to really write this whole thing out. So I
mean, it's about her grandmother, and she can have the whole story ideas, like the outline, everything. She have it all laid out how she wants it to unroll, and she just needs someone to be able to put it together in a way that's more presentable. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with that,
especially for a first one.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're open about it.
That's like that actually reminded me. I thought of a celebrity, the Murray from the Impractical Jokers.
Right.
He's a writer, and he has like it's not a ghostwriter, but he like co-writes. It has them both on there, and it's like, I think it's supposed to be like a series of like thrillers. Mm-hmm. And I've seen them at Barnes & Nobles, and I've almost picked them up a couple of times just because like it'd be interesting just to see like what his writing style is like, because I think he went to school for like writing or something like that. So,
well, it's not always the fact that the person who's writing it it's not that they can't write always. Sometimes it's just the time thing, like you said. R.L. Stine got in a big controversy because it came out that a lot of the Goosebump books that came out when he was on that crazy run of just like every week a new Goosebumps book, apparently he had like a team of ghostwriters he would give them an outline and they would actually write the stories.
I'm sure, because especially during that time when there was the fucking show going on and shit like that. Well, that's like the Ninja Turtle guys. They had to fucking stop doing their comic book. They had other people do it because they were fucking working on the cartoon show and fucking toys and shit. Like,
so when it becomes like a big business like that, even James Patterson, I understand. It's like, I mean, you're capable as a writer. You can write, but once you get to a certain point, it's fine. You have other people write it for you, as long as it's still your story. Number 2, Pamela Anderson. Better known for posing between the pages of Playboy. By 2004, Anderson decided to get, I always thought him better known by Baywatch. I mean, when I think of Pamela Anderson, I think Baywatch first before Playboy.
Home Improvement.
Can we go on a sidebar? And I know I'm not in the majority here because I'm always an ass guy first. Yeah. I was ass before it was popular.
You were always I
was always butt man. So I never was into the blondes with the big tits and the flat backs. Pamela Anderson never did it for me. I never thought she was attractive. I didn't want to see her get that giant fucking Tommy Lee wiener in her. Like, I just didn't care. I saw it, but I didn't I didn't care. But like, so I know like during the 90s, guys were like, oh fuck, she's so hot, but didn't do it for me.
Well, that's the very beginning of the weird, like, I look like a big plastic doll kind of thing.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. But like 80s hot, where it's like all these 80s chicks with these big knockers and they're real skinny. I mean, I don't like fun bags as much as the next guy, but that never did it for me. I like some thighs, some legs, a little meat, not a lot, not over much. Like now we're hitting like the body positive movement. It's like, God damn,
it's got back a little bit.
Yeah, it's like thick doesn't mean the same thing it used to. Now it's like, oh, I'm thick. No, you're a fucking linebacker for the Packers. Like you're a little large.
Your neck's thick.
I mean, you got fat on your earlobes. I didn't know that was possible. We lost some fans on that one probably, but so Pamela Anderson decided to get into a different type of publishing, writing 2 novels back to back.
Ooh.
Star, a novel, and Starstruck a year later. Both follow the exploits of 20-something Starwood Lee. Her name is Starwood Lee? Okay. A thinly veiled version of Anderson as she navigates fame. So almost an autobiographical kind of thing. Goodreads reviews
on Campy Kid
call Star playful, body, and a breathless romp through Tinseltown and tabloids. But I mean, if she's not taking it seriously and she's writing it just as like it could be in her, again, I don't know. See, almost anyone I see on this, I just want to be like, this is a ghostwriter, right? Like I just for some reason don't think, but I mean, people can write. A lot of people, that's the thing about a lot of celebrities. They're actually really talented in other aspects that you never know about. And usually they're very good at like writing or painting or all these things, but nobody gives a shit because they were fucking, starred in some movie and became popular off of that.
Because they have the time to put into the work.
Yeah, like Jim Carrey, like he's a great painter. Nobody gives a shit. They're just like, nah, he's funny, man. Number 3, Tom Hanks. That'd be interesting to read a Tom Hanks novel. I don't like this fucking Elvis star, Tom Hanks, began. I know they're trying to be modern, but he's Forrest Gump.
Yeah, right.
So Tom Hanks began writing his first novel in 2018 after feeling ground down by a laborious shooting schedule. I don't like the way this is written. So he wrote a book called The Making of Another Major Motion Picture Masterpiece, a novel.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's a mouthful.
That's too much. The book centers around the production of a superhero film inspired by a 1970s comic book and follows characters on both sides of the camera. The book is heavily inspired by his own experience, and Hanks told the BBC, I wrote wherever I was. I wrote on planes. I wrote at home. I wrote on vacation. And he just kept talking about where he writes. So it's about a superhero movie in the 70s. And the crew, almost like a once upon a time in Hollywood kind of deal.
That could be interesting.
Number 4, Hilary Duff. You get duffed?
Have you seen Hilary Duff recently?
She got a boom.
Yeah.
She got thick.
I wonder what exercise she's doing.
I don't know. She only got thick in the right places, too.
Yeah.
She was one of those ones that became a mom, but like usually momhood wrecks the bodies of these women. But sometimes it does the opposite and just gives them like some Hayek knockers.
It gives them what they need.
Yeah. I was always a fan of the Hilary Duff.
Yeah.
When I was growing up. Oh, yeah. Pretty lady. Very bodacious. First rising to fame in Disney's Lizzie McGuire. Okay, just get to the book. She wrote a trilogy.
Oh.
23-year-old actor and singer Hilary Duff decided to write. I skipped some stuff. So when she was 23, she decided to write for the same audience from Lizzie McGuire she was most familiar with, teenagers. The resulting Elixir trilogy comprises 3 fantasy romance novels that follow photojournalist Clea Raymond as she attempts to understand her father's disappearance in Brazil and the bond she forms with a mysterious stranger named Sage. So that's interesting because I did not know. Like, she just kind of dropped off. I thought she just became a mom and gave up on Hollywood. No, she just became a writer. She also has children's books, My Brave Little Girl, and Good Morning America. Oh, so yeah, My Brave Little Girl is a children's book. That's cool.
That makes sense with having the kids,
Here's a surprise one. Naomi Campbell. Naomi Campbell surprised the world when she announced she'd written a murder mystery.
Ooh, murder.
Centered around a supermodel known as Swan, real name Lavinia Charlotte Christian Lake. The gossipy behind-the-scenes look at the world of fashion could have been conjured up by Campbell or something or other. Okay, whatever. Who gives a fuck? All right. Because I'm a fucking misogynistic asshole, here's what I'm interested in. Ethan Hawke wrote a book. If it's not a straight white man, I don't want to read that book.
Stupid.
I don't want to read no woman's. What was that one video of that fucking guy? I don't listen to no woman. I forget. You ever see that? He's on Tosh. I'll bring that up when we get off air. I look at that. I think all you got to type on YouTube is I don't listen to no woman. He's just like some fucking raging asshole, but it was like, why are you so funny? Like unintentionally. Yeah. That's when it's good, is like when they're unintentionally funny. Ethan Hawke. He has a few books, but his most recent book, A Bright Day of Darkness, is a witty, wise, and heartfelt novel. His second novel, Ash Wednesday, drew flattering comparisons to J.D. Salinger by literary critic Helen Faulkner. Ethan Hawke always came across as a guy to me that just accidentally became an actor, but probably he looks like he should have just been a writer, you know?
Yeah.
So I could see him being a writer. So I would actually be interested in just reading some of his work because I like Ethan Hawke. He's one of those, like a David Duchovny. When you watch interviews of him, you're like, oh, no, this guy's like really smart and, you know, he has some good insight into things. I think he could be good at, unlike the James Francos, who might just be kind of a pompous ass.
And just doesn't seem like a Hollywood, like, you know, kind of like douchebag guy. Kind of seems like a normal dude.
Like, I can see Matt Damon, like, writing books, too.
Yeah.
He's like a real, Harvard, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he fucking wrote
the screenplay, yeah.
Yeah.
So he can write. Britney Spears.
Oh, yeah, she has a couple.
She wrote a book with her mom, Lynn. She wrote a book with her mom, Lynn, back in 2001. So their first novel together, titled A Mother's Gift, it follows the talented young Mississippian Holly Faye Lavelle as she pursues her singing career and tries to leave her impoverished roots behind. So just wrote about her life. So, yeah. I wonder who did most of the writing on that. I think it said it was 2001 when she was like at the height of Britney mania. Oh, I don't like when this happens. I don't know why. Number 8, Kendall and Kylie Jenner.
Oh yeah,
the Jenner sisters. Of all the books the Jenner sisters could have written, it feels safe to say no one had futuristic sci-fi on their bingo card. But that's exactly what the pair did when they released Rebels, City of Indra together in 2014. We didn't want to do something typical that you just heard anyone else would do, they told the Toronto Star. The newspaper asked the Jenners if the book's depiction of a planet where the elites live in the sky and the poor live beneath the Earth's surface was a metaphor for how they saw the world.
Oh, my God.
I don't think we took it that far, Kendall replied. Yeah, probably not. I'm sure they didn't. I think they just copied off of other things that existed.
That's a very used trope.
But kudos to them for trying to do something sci-fi, something that's, because you'd think it'd be like, you know, Pamela Anderson, the Britney Spears book, or just about their lives. Or
what if it was just pro, like, sky people?
it has to be, right? Because it's about, like, what?
It's like, screw them dirty ground people.
It's almost like Read the Room. You're writing about elites in the sky. What the fuck are you?
Right?
It was a real challenge to, like, picture ourselves as, like, the poor, you know?
It's dirty.
We really, really had to interview our gardener quite a few times. It was like atrocious. He smelled so bad. Oh my God. Like clean under your nails. Number 9, Madge. Still go by Madge, Madonna.
Oh.
I don't know if she goes by Madge. Didn't she go by Madge? I think so, because I was like, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
So the only book of hers I ever read was the one where she was just a bunch of naked pictures in the 90s. I remember what that was called. She wrote an illustrated children's book, The English Roses. It talks about the friendship and rivalries between 5 British schoolgirls. Oh,
that's sweet.
Number 10, Nicole Richie. I like that they not only picked like 10 celebrities, but they picked mostly celebrities I would never have guessed.
Yeah.
Other than Ethan Hawke and maybe Tom Hanks, I wouldn't have guessed any of these celebrities wrote books, like fiction books. So her 2005 book, The Truth About Diamonds, tells the story of rock royalty princess and card-carrying member of Hollywood's inner circle, Chloe Parker, as she attempts to navigate fame and just writing about yourself. They all write about themselves. Because that's all people in Hollywood could do is talk and think and write about themselves.
It's all they know.
Except for Kendall and the Kardashians are writing about space.
But again, they kind of do it. Like,
I think they're writing about their utopia vision. Like, I wish we could live in the sky, away from the poor. They're fucking dirty. They stink. They don't wear Louis Vuitton.
We just dropped a poo on them.
We poop on them. The poop plops down. They have like the technology to send it to space. They don't. They poop on us.
They just let it fall.
Poop on us.
They should be so lucky.
He's so lucky. No mention of David Duchovny or any of the other celebrities, the other 2 celebrities I think we talked about. So, would you read any of those?
Like I said, maybe like it's gonna sound like you said, like sister and everything, but like the Tom Hanks one, just because like, you know, big superhero guy, so that seemed interesting, and just like the Ethan Hawking, just because of, like I said, like
Ethan Hawking,
yeah.
Like, I want to read Ethan Hawking's book. You're combining people.
Yeah.
And one apparently, I think it's because you've seen so many memes because you keep sending Stephen Hawking and the midgets on FT. Why are they midgets now? That's all I keep seeing is memes about him and midgets now. Was that a thing? Has any of this been proven?
Well, I guess because what it was, I guess he liked watching the midgets
do calculus on a board that was too high.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Why?
I don't know.
Yeah, so you want to read Ethan Hawke and stuff.
Yeah.
Ethan Hawke. I just, like I said, I just think...
oh, you know one guy, and I don't know if they're fictional or not, but I always wanted to go and read Bruce Campbell's books.
I didn't know he had books. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, he has like 2. It's like if like the tales of a B-list actor or something, and like if chins could kill or something like that, you know. So I don't know if they're more biographical or if they're fictional or like a weird like mixture of both, like
a Norm Macdonald
kind of thing. Yeah, but I those were something I always wanted to check out.
When I read the Norm Macdonald memoir thing, that made me want to actually try some celebrity books because I was just always none of them could write a good book. But then I read that, I was like, it was so good. I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm missing out on a whole genre of books just because Kareem Abdul-Jabbar's got a book. There's like so many better lists I could have picked
for next time.
I'm just gonna read this list. I'm not gonna go into the details. 40.
40.
These are fiction books. Celebrities you didn't know wrote fiction books. Hilary Duff. We knew that.
Yeah.
Lauren Graham, she's from the Gilmore Girls. Okay. I actually knew that because I tried to get Mindy. I was like, I'll buy it. I think I did buy it for her. I was like, you want to read it? And she just, a couple pages. Brittany and Lynn Spears. Chris Colfer. I don't know. You know who that is? Glee. I don't know. That's not Glee. Monique. Isla Fisher. You might know her from Wedding Crashers.
Okay.
The redhead.
Oh, okay.
Lauren Conrad. Is she on one of those like hills or? Like,
I think so, yeah.
Tyra Banks. Tia and Tamara Mari. The Mari twins. Courtney Kim and Khloe Kardashian. So Courtney and Kim got in it too, and Khloe.
Yeah.
I guess they all just got into fiction writing.
Yeah.
Statistically, one of them has to be okay, right? If they're all, again, whoever wrote most of the book probably.
I can say because I can't think that they could spell well.
Well, they're very rich. They probably went to really good schools.
Yeah, but they didn't have to do anything there though.
Yeah.
Sometimes they had to do stuff in class.
Chris Harrison. I don't know who that is. Bachelor. Shay Mitchell. I don't know who that is. Kendall and Kylie Jenner.
A lot of celebrity, like a lot of like reality people.
Here's an interesting one. Kristen Ritter.
Oh.
Let's see if she did a comic thing or something. She wrote a novel about a flawed female main character who looks at the world through noir-tinted glasses that you could definitely see the Jessica Jones star playing in a future screen adaptation. Oh. It's called Bonfire. That might be interesting.
Yeah.
Like a noir theme. Sharon Osbourne. B.J. Novak from The Office.
Oh, yeah. Because he was originally supposed to just be like a writer on the show. Or
yeah, he was a writer on the show. Carrie Fisher. I never got around to reading any of her stuff, but I heard it's really like funny.
Oh, yeah?
Like her novels and stuff. Because she was more of known for a writer for a long time than obviously Star Wars, but after that, she was just doing a lot of like script and writing and stuff, wasn't she? Naomi Campbell, Steve Martin. Steve Martin might be interesting. Julie Andrews. That's what the fuck? The Sound of the Music. Mary Poppins.
Oh yeah.
I was trying to think what else she was in. Molly Ringwald. She's one I could see because she kind of fell off after the 80s. Yeah, 16 Candles, Breakfast Club, all that stuff. Blair Underwood, Hugh Laurie. What's he writing? I don't got time to look. Ethan Hawke, Madonna, 50 Cent. 50 Cent's got
50 cents.
Yeah. He has a book called Playground, which focuses on Butterball, a student who's bullying others because he lacks the tools to deal with his emotions.
Oh, wow.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
That's the way you think you would go?
Yeah, I want to be enough for that. Tom Hanks, Julianne Moore, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar just fucking has done everything, hasn't he? He fought Bruce Lee. He's fucking NBA champion. He's an activist. Like, he's just... When does he get to be like considered one of the greatest Americans of all time? Is he there yet? I mean, how much more does he got to do?
He gets shit. Like, I feel like he gets shit on when it just comes to talking about basketball.
I know. I don't get it. Nicole Richie, Pete Wentz, Bella Thorne, ew. Jimmy Fallon, ew. David Duchovny, Nicole Snooki Police.
Oh,
Snooki, snoo. Sidney Poitier. Sidney Poitier might be an interesting one because he's a smart fellow. Pamela Anderson. We're coming down to this. Tim Burton. I'd be interested in Tim Burton, too. He had a short collection of short stories and poems, The Melancholy Death of Oyster Boy and Other Stories. So just as weird sounding as there were. Wesley Snipes.
That would maybe be interesting.
Yeah. And Jay Leno. Number 40, Jay Leno.
Just Cars.
Probably. You know...
He wrote the novelization of the Disney movie Cars.
I don't know if I want to read that. You know who I'm surprised hasn't written a book, if assuming they haven't? Johnny Depp. I don't know why. He just seems like a guy that would write a book. So that was our episode. It went longer than I wanted, but whatever. We had some fun. If you want to check out our stuff, you follow us at DPW Podcast on Twitter, X, whatever it is, Instagram, Facebook, and, of course, YouTube.
The tubes of you.
Spencer, this week's OnlyFans is the Dallas diarrhea disaster, or did we decide on the Dingleberry Denter?
Yeah, either one.
Denter, I kind of like.
Just
Dingleberry Denter. Just denting. Whatever you pick. Yeah, it'll be well, they have to know the name. How are they going to find it?
There will be links and things. I don't know.
All right. And you can go to my website, calebjamesk.com. I'll eventually post some stories on there. Anyway, thank you for listening, and we'll check you out next time.